I'd like to wish the Minister well in her new job. Minister, I think, the last 6 months has affected everybody's well-being, because of the COVID, and I think disproportionately old people have suffered greatly. 56% of all deaths have been in nursing homes, and the vast majority of deaths in this state have been older people. And there was a sense of fear, and there still is, in relation to old people and how they were interacting. And even the kind of term cocooning, I think, was almost a derogatory term. Some people, some older people would have taken kind of that to task, that the word cocooning. And in all that grimness, there was, I suppose, a bit of light, because sometimes in the darkness they have to have sunshine. And there was a really amazing kind of short film by RTE called Letters from Lockdown. It was about Margaret Lynch, and she was 100 years old, and it was just absolutely fantastic. And it really kind of encompassed how old people, the generational gap, between their grandchildren and so forth, and how it was affecting them and their family. And every time I see it, I'll be honest with you, I shed a tear, and in that sense, I smile as well, because of that kind of how the effects that it has on old people in the last 6 months. And obviously there was a digital divide in relation to the last 6 months, which was compounded by the kind of ageist society that we kind of have. And Age Action House is calling on the government, and I think this is something that you could actually do, because a lot of things you can't do, but this is something that practical that you can do when you're in government, is calling in the budget in 2021 to include a digital allowance in the form of a €2.50 increase in the telephone support allowance because of the digital divide during the lockdown. So that would be very, very welcome. Minister, I noted in your relation to your contribution in relation to daycare centres, and Deputy Ellis said very pertinent in relation to them services. My mother goes to a service in Clondalkin, and she hasn't been there for the last 6 months. She was, yourself, she would go there every single day, get her hair done, her dinner and all that, and her friends, and that kind of, that has kind of broken down. So I think it's really important that these services resume very, very quickly. And obviously the lack of routine, the kind of isolation in the socialisation that has happened, that's almost unquantifiable, that has happened to older people in the state. So I think if there's one thing you can do, Minister, on a practical thing, is that to try to address the kind of, I suppose, the aftershock and the kind of what we're living in relation to COVID and what it has done to old people. And I think putting in more resources in relation to day centres, opening them up as soon as you can when all the guidelines are kind of adhered to, and giving more resources, particularly to the older generation that have paid their taxes. They've done everything that they've tried to do, and this kind of pandemic has stopped them in their tracks. But there is always hope, and like I referred to that kind of the letters from the lockdown ad, there's always hope, and there's always that kind of there's hope in kind of adversity, and there's hope in this pandemic. Thank you.